Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey everyone, this is Heather Hope with The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Happy Saturday to you. Oh, excuse me, my goodness. I want to first and foremost welcome all of our new listeners on my YouTube channel. It has been growing incredibly over the past week, especially, and it's been really great. One of my videos is really going well. It's really funny. It's kind of like the, what's that called? The 80-20 rule, which I don't necessarily prescribe to. It's just something I hear people talk about, but I don't really make it true in my life. But it could be true. I don't have a clue. But I have over 200 videos on my YouTube channel. Now, 190 something of them are this podcast, but I still have about 50 Abraham videos back that I did about a year and a half ago. And one of them has made the most amount of money, has one of the most amount of views, and it's just one video. It's like I have two videos that, two out of like 200 and almost 250 videos on my YouTube channel. And it's like these two, but one in particular. And it has been, it's been incredible. So I think that's where YouTube just completely put it everywhere. It even came up in my feed. I mean, this video is like a year and a half old. So it's been really incredible to watch that. So anyway, welcome. I'm recording this Friday morning, and I'm trying to do this because I have some things. I need to leave the house, and I don't want to come back and then have to do this late at night like I've done numerous times. But my phone keeps blowing up with business. And so if I get distracted, please bear with me, because it's a really time-sensitive thing to jump on notifications when they come in. So it's been a really busy morning. And so there you go. Okay, so let's jump into this. This podcast is a daily podcast. We are going through my book, The Inspired Entrepreneur. You can find it on Amazon. I highly recommend getting the print book. You can get it in ebook, but really, if you can, just get the print book, because it's a pretty cool book. And it can sit on your desk, and when you feel inspired, open it up, and the universe will give you a message for you and your business. It's pretty incredible. Yesterday in our world over here, the message was perfect for my husband. He was going through something, and I told him, like, oh, then today's message is for you. So he had to go look it up. And it was. So, okay, so let's jump into March 13th, 2021. This is pretty cool. It is a quote from Sanaya Roman. If you don't know who Sanaya Roman is, please, let me tell you this. If you had to, like, I just told you to go buy my book, right? Great. But if you, I would highly recommend Sanaya's book that we're about to talk about more than any book in this world. Like, I'm not even joking about this one. Sanaya Roman is another channeler, just like Esther Hicks. And she's been around just as long as Esther Hicks. And I know a lot of people out there have heard of her, have this book even, have been following her for years. And here I am, like, I just discovered her like a year ago. So thankfully, and I have 6 of her books. She's the author that I have the very most amount of books of on my bookshelf. Incredible. She is incredible. I don't have a clue what she does, like what she's up to these days. You know what I mean? She's not like Esther at all. But she has held workshops and all that stuff over the years and has done a ton of stuff. It's just, she's like nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, she's got books, and I think that's it. I don't know where she is. I don't know where she lives. Maybe I should look her up. But she is a channeler. And so her book, Creating Money, I should grab it. I told myself to grab it before I jumped on here. It's on my bookshelf. Creating Money. It's purple, of course. It's beautiful. By Sanaya Roman. Something about creating abundance. This book is, I call it the Bible of money. I should put the link in the description just so you can find it, but whatever. You can find it on Amazon. But I'm telling you, I have gone through that book so many times, and maybe I should go through it again. I have so many things underlined. I used to, talk about it with my clients. They used to read it. Anyway, so here's the quote for today from Sanaya Roman. The more expansive your thoughts are, the more expansive the reality you create. Okay, I was just talking to Roger, my husband, and I told him it's a Sanaya Roman quote. And he's like, what is it? And I told him, the more expansive your thoughts are, the more expansive the reality you create. And I said, basically, it just means think big, right? So the more expansive your thoughts are, the more expansive the reality you create. So I am an expansive thinker. But these thoughts that I think, they typically just have a mind of their own. Like our thoughts think, right? But I allow in, like I'll get on a subject and then that subject just gets bigger and bigger. It's not like I sit down and like really concentrate on something. You know what I mean? Like we all do this. We all have thoughts, and then the thoughts can get carried away. If you are that allower, I am an allower. I don't say like, oh, that's so big, I can't do that. That's impossible. I don't do stuff like that. I'm just like, God, wouldn't that be so much fun? Wouldn't that be so cool to do this and this and this and this? And, when I start thinking about something that I have been thinking about, or I have thought about it many times, like each time I think about it again, it gets even more expansive. And it's just really cool. It's just fun. It's fun to play with thoughts. I mean, as an only child, I played with my thoughts all the time. This has sound weird. Okay. But I was always left to my thoughts. And my thoughts always got big. They're just big and big and bigger and bigger and bigger. I never limit myself when I think. I never, my rib is like out of place all of a sudden. I never think like, oh, that's just too big. That's impossible. How in the world would that happen? No, I just play with the thoughts because they feel good. I play with the vision because it feels good. It's a lot of fun. And so Sanaya Roman, the more expansive your thoughts are, the more expansive the reality you create. It's not rocket science. You know what I mean? Like everybody who's in the law of attraction says stuff that's similar. Similar, right? It's just different words a lot of the time. So I'll see quotes and I'm like, that sounds so much like other people have said it. You know what I mean? Like somebody will just tweak a couple words and then it's their quote. But highly suggest getting her book, obviously. The book is like an advanced course on attracting money. It really is. It's like from Abraham Hicks. Abraham is, so when you channel, source comes through and source only has the knowledge or the vocabulary of the channeler. That's why every channeler sounds different. Like the message is basically the same. It's just the words can be really different based on that human who's channeling, right? So, no two channelers will be the same because each human is a bit different. So her book, Sanaya's books, all of them, they seem a little bit more advanced. I think they're a bit more, I don't want to say dense, but there's a lot in there. It's packed of stuff, of good stuff. And it feels really good. I have an old client of mine. I'll check in with her once in a while, or she'll check in with me. And we're both huge Sanaya Roman fans. And we both say the same thing about when we read her books, you just get this really good feeling, that vibration. And I'm not saying I don't get that with Esther's books, because, I probably do. I just don't read them very often. I listen to Abraham, right, on YouTube. But with Sanaya's books, you just get a really good feeling. And it's the vibration when the book was written. It feels really incredible. And it was a big deal when I was writing my book, The Inspired Entrepreneur, because I was reading hers. I was reading through her book, Creating Money, and the vibration felt so good. I was writing my book. And the really funny thing is that I was reading hers and I would get inspiration of a new thought for me, and I would write it for my book. But they weren't the same subject. Even though my book talks about business and money and manifestation, but it wasn't the same thing at the same time. So it wasn't like I was copying her book, because I wasn't. It was the vibration. And then I received an inspiration, and then I wrote it. And it was so bizarre to me that it wasn't anything to do with what I was reading. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was an incredible writing process for me. It was probably the most blissed out I've ever felt when I was writing this book. So that's my vibration of writing this book. But as I said, the more expansive your thoughts are, the more expansive the reality you create, because you create your reality based off your thoughts, right? So the bigger, like all of these people, all these successful people will tell you, think big, think big, think bigger. Because if you want to create a big life, you have to be a big thinker. And if you want a big life and you're a big thinker, you better be a big, what was that? You better get lined up. I think that was something in an Abraham video about big thinkers better get lined up with the energy. Because if you're a big thinker and you don't line up, it feels like hell. It feels terrible. But if you're a big thinker and you get lined up, momentum takes you. And that's what I've been doing for the last few months. I just look at the clock and it's 11:11. The last few months, focusing on myself, focusing on meditation, focusing on my stuff in the morning, focusing on being happy, focusing on my mood, focusing on all of that, just really paying attention to me. And like I said, getting out of coaching, getting out of like the helping profession, getting out of being a therapist, being a coach, I can't tell you how much more happier. Like, I really liked helping people. I really did. I got a lot out of it. But when I'm here just helping myself, I am such a more peaceful person. I am, when I'm not messing with other people's lives, but when I'm not, what does Abraham say about dealing with other people's stuff? You get this mixed vibration, and I felt it for a long time. I felt this mixed vibration with my clients, and it was not fun. It wasn't good for me. So once I got away from that and just focused on myself and what I want and how I feel, and had nothing to do with anybody else, like I didn't have to check in with people, I absolutely love it. And I'm just, like I said, I'm happier and I'm more peaceful when I'm not trying to help other people. It's kind of being that selfish person that Abraham says, being selfish, which just has such a negative connotation, right? But when you focus on yourself and your own peace and happiness, that's everything. That's everything. So do things for yourself. Make sure you make yourself happy. So I was listening to this one Abraham recently about Esther and Jerry, and I think after he left the picture, right after he died, what's her name? Esther was talking about how she would make her bed or do these certain things around the house. And I think she discovered that she was doing them for him and not for her. And then she kind of got mad or something. I don't know about that. Now he's gone and she did all that for him or whatever. And like, I do things around the house daily. Like I make the bed. I have blankets and pillows on my couch and a certain arrangement. And I do that every day to make it look pretty. And who I do these things for? I do them solely for myself. I don't do them for anyone else. I do them to make myself happy. And it was interesting that I had heard that from, Abraham saying, do things for yourself. Don't do things to try to make everyone else around you happy. Because if you're happy, that's all that matters. Like, my husband loves it when I'm happy. And the whole saying of like, happy wife, happy life. Well, it's true, but it's not your job to make your spouse happy. But your life can be happier when your spouse is happier. But that spouse has to choose to be happy. That's a whole nother subject, right? So I choose to make myself, because I can choose to be bitchy or moody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something will set me off, and then I get to choose whether or not I want to go down that rabbit hole of being in that mood. And most often I catch myself very quickly, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel that way. It's my choice whether or not I'm moody. It's my choice whether or not I'm happy. And I love being happy, and that's my job. It's my job to keep myself happy, period. It's literally no one else's responsibility for my happiness. It's solely mine. So I create my reality. No one else does. That's a whole nother topic, right? Okay, guys, like I said a million times, go get her book. Seriously, go get her book, Sanaya Roman. If you don't want to buy mine, go buy hers. Like, it's just that good. It's that good. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday. I have stuff to do. I'm going to go look at an office space that I'm thinking about renting, and it's going to be a busy time very, very, very soon. So have an amazing rest of your Saturday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.